Hello everybody, welcome to today's developer update for Shroud of the Avatar Forsaken Virtues. I'm Rick Holtrop.
And I'm B. Cotton.
We are here today to talk to you about housing. We've been paying a lot of attention to the comments thread on our Kickstarter site as well as our forums on shroudoftheavatar.com. We felt like there were a lot of housing questions being asked and there were a lot of answers that we can give. So I brought with me a little piece of paper. I've got some questions on here. I'm going to ask B. He's going to give you some answers. All right, let's start. How you doing today, B?
All right, hanging in there.
All right. I think one of the top questions that I've seen over and over again, we've talked a lot about housing will have a need for property fees, taxation, upkeep fees. There's been some worry that you would only be able to pay that with real world money. Is that a fact?
No, it's definitely not the case. You know, we want the players to be able to use the currency they earn in-game via, selling, crafting, killing things to pay for these fees. So you're definitely going to be able to use the game currency to pay for these fees associated with your vendors and houses.
You said vendors. That whenever you own a home in Shroud of the Avatar, you also have the possibility of having a vendor. You don't need to, but if you do, there will be a certain wages, we'll call the properties taxes, we'll call the wages for vendors. That's the same is true for vendors as well, apparently. Definitely, all in-game currency.
Definitely very similar mechanic. You're going to be able to use the currency to pay the fees on your house or your vendor.
Now that's fantastic, but almost beside the point, because I think who we're talking to a lot of Kickstarter donors right now. And if you are a donor in a Kickstarter right now at a high enough level, you're gifted a house in the game. If you are, I don't think you have to worry about upkeep fees.
Yeah, that's one of the things the Kickstarters get is, once you've pledged and got this house has no property fees for the lifetime of the house, and then also you get a free vendor that has no fees for the lifetime for the lifetime of that. And one thing we talked about is, once you purchase this house, once you purchase this deed for this house, this is something that is yours. So we want to make sure that players can trade these to others. So while that's something that sometimes games restrict, it's something we decided just not to fight. So once you donate and get the house deed for this is your house deed, and you can actually transfer it to someone else if you get to a point where you decide you need to.
That's fantastic. Give me a pen. You're jumping in front of me, man. You're answering questions before I ask them. I think that those have been some great answers to some questions about the mechanics of owning and keeping a home. Why do I want a home? What am I going to do with my house?
Yeah, one of the big things that we want to support with the homeowners is decorating. So this house really is an extension of yourself. This is the thing that's going to be persisted through the world, that others are going to see, that the big house on the corner of the city lot that hundreds of players are going to walk by, or the little village plot somewhere that other players are going to be able to see, and see your vendors and see how you decorate. So that's a big thing, is being able to to decorate and express yourself in the game.
Now you mentioned both villages and cities. There's apparently some size thing going on there? Are there big cities, small cities, big villages, little villages?
No, it's mainly just you got a village, town, and city, and so our village are kind of like our smaller places with a couple little huts. The town is a little bigger, and the city is really the biggest thing in there. There won't be very many of them, but each of those will have the smaller villages won't have as many shared resources or shared spaces as the bigger cities. So you really want to be in the cities, either the towns or cities, or the bigger things, have your houses there, so to get more exposure, so that people get to see your house more.
So now you've got a house, you've got a vendor, you're a crafter, you've made lots of stuff, you've stocked your vendor, and you've got more stuff than you need, and so you've of course got storage at home. Put all the overflow into storage. Do we have to worry about losing our storage? Will it be stolen like the good old days of Ultima Online?
No, that's definitely, we're going to make sure the houses have secure storage, so that if you're decorating outside or decorating inside, that wherever you place, it's there, and no one can mess with it. I mean, this is your expression, so people can see it, but they can't mess it up.
And that leads into also a set of permissions that you'll be able to have for your house. I think, if you leave your door open, maybe everybody can come into your house, but you don't need to worry about people taking your stuff. So we've answered a lot of questions about what it takes to own and keep a home. What are the things I could do with a home? It sounded like you said I could decorate and I could craft. Is there any crossover between those two?
Yeah, that's one of the things is, crafting also is crafting itemization for your avatar, but it's also crafting decorations for your home. So definitely expect a very robust crafting system where you're crafting decorations, as well as your, crafting equipment and you're crafting other things. So we want to make sure that the house is a crafter's dream, that you have extra space to store stuff, that you have your that you have your crafting stations potentially there. So we want to make sure that that any of the big crafters in the game get a lot of value out of having a house. It's definitely a big thing for the housing market, is to have a crafter that can sell his goods and create his goods and kind of be a one-stop shop where you don't have to go and visit these other places, but you can kind of do everything at home.
That's great. Thanks for answering all of their questions, B. One thing that we were talking about before we came in here is there's a situation we've already explained, that you don't have to worry about the things in your house 100% secure. They're always yours. Will I always be able to get to my house?
No, that's one thing we definitely want to have is we're going to have these a world event kind of thing that potentially locks off access to your house. So imagine a siege mechanic where the town goes under siege every once in a while based on some story mechanic or some world event, and then so your house isn't accessible because the city's under siege, and we want this to kind of be a shared event for players to push back against. So it should be a pretty cool thing, but definitely not something a long-term thing. Maybe an inconvenience, but not something very difficult.
Yes, not something that at its simplest is something that you have to wait a half hour before you can get back into your house. It's something that you can choose to participate or not, but it will take a team of players to kind of come together and push back the evil that's landed on the town. Well, thanks for loading us up today. I hope that we were able to answer some of your questions. We love hanging out on the boards and the forums and stuff. Keep sending us questions. We'll keep giving you answers. At least B will keep giving you answers. Thanks again. Have a good day.
Thanks.